Mr. President, I come to join the debate this morning on the farm, making sure that we get the Farm Bill passed. It is so important to the state of Washington and to our country. I know many of my colleagues have been down here talking about agriculture, but in the state of Washington, it is responsible for about 164,000 jobs. And while we produce ourselves about 10 billion plus of economic activity, our ports are responsible for exporting about $180 billion of economic activity. So chances are, if you're growing an agricultural product in the United States, there's a good chance that you're shipping that product through Washington ports, going to Asia and a variety of places. The agriculture and food industry is a huge part of our U.S. economy as well, and provides 11% of total U.S. employment. So to say that this bill is an important economic tool is an understatement. We know in the United States of America that a trade surplus in agriculture has also existed for 50 years. So when we're talking about making investments and opening up new markets and protecting agriculture from a trade war that we're seeing, it's very important that this bill help recognize the hard work that the farmers in the United States of America have done in growing our economy and what we can do to continue to make sure that they have those economic opportunities in the future. Since U.S. exports have gained access to markets like South Korea more than a decade ago, Washington farmers in my state have seen increases in export up to 80% for potatoes and 200% for cherries. And agriculture exports support more than millions of jobs, but they are around the United States so important in helping us with our trade surplus. So I'm proud to say that working with our colleagues, the chairman of the committee, Senator Roberts, and his ranking member, Senator Stabenow, we have worked to make sure that we are making improvements and increasing the MAP Market Assistance Program. That these programs now bound together to increase funding, provide technical assistance and more flexibility for the Secretary of Agriculture to help our farmers increase access to new markets. This is so important at a time when we're seeing so much chaos in the marketplace. We want to make sure that we continue to have an aggressive attitude towards opening up markets, not closing them, opening up markets for our agricultural product. From 1977 to 2014, it's estimated that these programs produced an average return of investment of $28 for every dollar that was invested. That is, when you're opening up a market to sell U.S. products abroad, we're spending a little bit of dollars helping us open the door to those markets, and it's returning $28. So that is a huge investment for us to export our product into those countries. So I know that some of our colleagues have been working across the aisle to help make sure that MAP funding is more secure and that we invest more. I'm one of those, working with my colleague Senator Crapo from Idaho to make sure that provisions are in this bill that give the Secretary more flexibility to help us on things like our fruit products and potato products from the Pacific Northwest. So I appreciate his help on helping make sure that this bill represents at least some of us who want to increase those opportunities for the future. Washington State is the third largest exporter of food and agricultural products in the United States, and our agriculture sector accounts for 13% of our economy annually. And we're proud to grow about 300 different types of products, nearly 40,000 farms, and as I said, 164,000 Washingtonians employed in that sector. So we continue to work to make sure that the type of research that's represented in this bill, in the R&D that's provided, and the great institutions in our state, like Washington State University, providing good information for us, our agriculture extension programs are funded, and to make sure that conservation is an opportunity for our farmers so that they can continue to have resources within their farms and diversify on different products in rotation. All of these things are important in moving a farm bill through the United States Senate and on to the President's desk eventually. I'm very concerned that my colleagues in the House of Representatives want to cut or limit the SNAP program. This has been an essential tool as part of ag for a long time and should continue. The notion that we are going to hold up an ag bill at a critical time when concerns about tariffs are impacting our farmers is wrong. What we need to do is move forward on giving the assurances to our farmers that we want them to have the research and development, we want to have them the tools of conservation, and we certainly want them to have the market access program to continue to market and reach markets all around the globe. Our ag economy is so important to us in the Pacific Northwest. This bill is helping us make a down payment on it and giving us a little flexibility, but I'm going to take the Secretary of Agriculture at his word today when I heard him on television saying he's going to mitigate any kind of damage being done to farmers based on tariffs. I'm going to hold him at his word, and believe me, as we move this legislation through the process, I'm going to make sure that every tool is available for the great products that we grow in Washington State. I want them to reach market destinations. I don't want them to be retaliated against in a trade war. Thank you, Madam President, and I yield the floor.